Hard work is praised everywhere. It's celebrated in schools, workplaces, and society as the ultimate path to success. Wake up early, stay late, grind harder than everyone else, push through exhaustion, and eventually, you'll be rewarded. But here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to hear. Hard work alone doesn't make you wealthy. In fact, some of the hardest working people on earth struggle financially their entire lives. Meanwhile, there's another group, quieter, less frantic, often misunderstood, who seem to manage money effortlessly. They're not always the busiest, they're not always the most exhausted, and they're definitely not the ones bragging about how hard they grind. They're the smart ones. Smart people don't manage money with effort. They manage it with strategy. And once you understand how they think, you realize money isn't a reward for hard work. It's a reward for smart decisions made consistently over time. Let's break this down honestly. Hardworking people focus on earning more. Smart people focus on keeping, growing, and directing what they earn. That single difference changes everything. Most hardworking people believe the solution to money problems is more income. If they're stressed, they look for overtime. If they're behind, they chase a raise. If they want more freedom, they take on another job. Their instinct is always the same: work more. Smart people pause and ask a different question. Where is my money going? And why? They understand that income is only one side of the equation. What matters just as much is cash flow, expenses, leverage, and compounding. You can earn a lot and still be broke. You can earn modestly and quietly build wealth. This is why doctors, engineers, and executives, some of the hardest working professionals, often live paycheck to paycheck, and why investors, business owners, and strategic thinkers can earn less on paper, yet feel far more secure. Smart people don't confuse activity with progress. Another major difference is how they view spending. Hardworking people often use money as a reward. I deserve this. I worked hard for it. New car, bigger house, better lifestyle. Spending becomes emotional compensation for effort. Smart people use money as a tool. Every dollar is a worker, either it's working for them or against them. They ask questions like, will this expense grow or shrink my future options? Is this a liability or an asset? Does this purchase increase freedom or dependency? They don't eliminate enjoyment, they delay it. They understand that discipline early creates comfort later. Here's a line worth sitting with. Smart people don't budget to restrict life, they budget to design it. They know exactly where their money goes, not because they're obsessed, but because clarity creates control. Confusion is expensive. Awareness is powerful. Hardworking people often avoid looking closely at their finances because it feels uncomfortable. Smart people lean into that discomfort early, so they don't have to live with regret later. Another key difference is how they think about saving. Hardworking people save leftover money. Whatever remains after expenses goes into savings, if anything remains at all. Smart people save first. They treat savings and investments as non-negotiable expenses. Money is removed automatically before it can be spent emotionally. This simple habit quietly builds stability, while others wonder why they're always behind. But here's the twist. Smart people don't just save. They deploy. They understand that money sitting still loses value over time. Inflation quietly erodes purchasing power. So instead of hoarding cash, they look for places to put money where it can grow. Assets, businesses, skills, or opportunities that compound. Hard work earns money once. Smart placement earns money repeatedly. This is why smart people obsess over compounding. They know small, consistent actions done over time outperform dramatic efforts done inconsistently. They don't chase shortcuts. They build systems, and systems beat willpower every time. Let's talk about risk, because this is where the difference becomes crystal clear. Hardworking people are often risk-averse. They fear losing what they've worked so hard to earn, so they play safe. They avoid learning investments. They avoid starting anything new. They cling to stability. Smart people don't avoid risk. They manage it. They understand the biggest risk isn't losing money. It's never learning how money works. They take calculated risks early, when mistakes are survivable and lessons are valuable. They diversify. They don't bet everything on one outcome. And when they fail, they don't panic. They analyze. Here's a question worth asking yourself. Are you avoiding risk to protect your future, or avoiding risk because you don't understand it? Smart people invest in understanding before investing money. They read, they observe, they ask questions. They learn from others' mistakes so they don't have to repeat them at full cost. Hardworking people often delay learning about money because they're too busy working. Smart people know learning is the work. Another huge difference is how they view time. Hardworking people trade time for money. Hours in, money out. When time stops, income stops. Smart people look for ways to disconnect income from time. They build leverage, systems, assets, people, technology, so results can scale without proportional effort. They ask, can this earn while I'm not present? Can this be repeated without starting from zero? Can this grow without me pushing constantly? That's why smart people focus on ownership, owning equity, owning assets, owning systems, owning ideas. Ownership creates upside. Labor creates limits. This doesn't mean smart people don't work. They work intensely, but selectively. They protect their time fiercely. If an activity doesn't move the needle long term, they question it. Busy doesn't impress them. Results do. Now let's talk mindset, because money is rarely about math alone. Hardworking people often believe money is earned through suffering. The harder it feels, the more deserved it is. This belief keeps them stuck in cycles of burnout. Smart people believe money follows value. The more problems you solve, the more value you create, the more money flows toward you. Effort matters, but direction matters more. They don't ask, how hard can I work? They ask, how useful can I become? And usefulness scales. Smart people also understand taxes, incentives, and systems. They don't complain about rules. They learn them. They know the system rewards ownership more than employment, leverage more than labor, patience more than impulse. Schools rarely teach this. Families rarely discuss it. So most people stumble into adulthood blind to how money actually moves. Smart people seek this knowledge intentionally. Here's a powerful realization many people never reach. Money amplifies habits. If you're careless, more money creates more problems. If you're disciplined, more money creates more options. That's why smart people build habits before wealth. Tracking, planning, reviewing, adjusting. Money management becomes automatic long before money becomes abundant. Hardworking people often wait until they earn more to get serious about money. Smart people get serious early, so earning more actually matters. Let's pause for a moment. If your income doubled tomorrow, would your life truly change? Or would your expenses simply rise to meet it? Your honest answer tells you whether you're working hard or thinking smart. Another critical difference is patience. Hardworking people want fast results. They're tired, they're stressed, they want relief now. So they chase quick wins and emotional spending. Smart people think long term. They delay gratification. They understand wealth is built quietly, often boringly, before it becomes visible. They're willing to look behind temporarily to move far ahead permanently. They play long games, and long games reward those who can wait. Finally, smart people separate identity from income. They don't define themselves by job titles or salaries. They see work as a tool, not a label. This flexibility allows them to adapt, pivot, and evolve as opportunities change. Hardworking people often cling to identity, "This is what I do," even when it limits growth. Smart people ask, "What's the smartest move now?" That question alone can change a life. So here's the real takeaway, and it's not anti-hard work. Hard work is useful. It builds discipline. It builds resilience. But without strategy, hard work becomes a treadmill. You move constantly, but you don't go far. Smart money management isn't about doing more. It's about doing better. It's about directing effort instead of multiplying exhaustion. It's about thinking before reacting. It's about building systems that protect you from your worst impulses and amplify your best decisions. Hardworking people keep the world running. Smart people quietly design their own freedom within it. And the moment you shift from asking, "How hard am I working?" to "How smart is my strategy?" you step into a completely different financial future. Not louder, not flashier, just far more in control.